Boom, Decorated family, what's going on? Here we are on the January 24th edition of Tuesday with Todd. So this one, hey, we're not going to do any pressing. We're not going to do anything like that. We're getting caught up. Getting caught up from impressions because we were there last week. So that's what we're going to talk about. How that went, what new things we saw, what we have coming on its way, all the fun things that we learned, the people that we talked to, and pretty much why you should go to a trade show if there's one in your area. So, hey, when you get in here, let me know how do I sound and, where you're at tonight. How's the weather in your area? Here it's 34 and cloudy. It sounds like there's some snow on the way. I am not looking forward to that since, we just left some sunny Southern California where it may not have been super warm, but, hey, to a Midwest kid, when it's 50s and 60s and sun in January, that's some beautiful, beautiful weather. Of course, it was shorts and flip-flops because that's how we roll. So check in with me. Let me know that you're here. Say hello. That always helps the algorithm. Make sure, like, subscribe. Thank you very much for that. And we can dive right into it. We'll check in and see how everybody's doing. What's up, Chuck? How are you doing? So far, so good. Just finished up some stuff. We're going to keep this one short because, as somebody else alluded to, Renee, good evening to you. It is Mr. Mom duty. We'll talk about how that all plays out because that throws a big wrench in stuff this week for us of what we're doing. We got back yesterday, or we got back late Sunday night. Well, I guess I can say we got home early Monday morning. So by the time we rolled through the door, it was about 12:30 when we rolled through the door Monday morning. And then, Corey left 3 this morning. So, she's only back at the house for about 26 hours before she jet set it away. Must be rough, right? Must be rough being my wife and travel out of the country 6 to 8 times a year. Just saying, she can't hear me. She can't stop me. But I'm saying she must have a pretty damn good husband, right? No, she works hard so she can play hard. Me, my play hard is I go to shows, which we have what, 2 weeks? Is that 2 weeks from today, Renee? Or is it Monday? What day am I coming in? Because I guess I will fly out. I had kind of a nervous attack for the thing, and I'm like, I'm done traveling, I'm done flying, so we'll catch up with on that. Darren, hello to you, my friend. Curtis, what's going on? And it is cold in Chicagoland. And Barb, greetings, everyone from North Central Minnesota. 23 more snow coming in. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to that fun stuff at all. I don't want it. All right. So if you didn't know, last week was Impressions Expo Long Beach. That is pretty much the show that kicks off the show season for our industry. It's a decorated apparel show. There was just about every major player there. Surprisingly enough, somebody who wasn't there was Caesar. Caesar was represented by other booths, but there was not a standalone Caesar booth. So that kind of threw me for a loop because I wanted to wanted to talk to people over there, Brett and Patrick, and I didn't see them. So we'll have to, maybe there'll be somewhere, one of the booths in Chicago or something. We'll have to check that out. But there was a lot of information to be had at that show. Now, Friday is when the show officially started. Prior to that, we'd spent a couple days down in beautiful San Diego. We're at the Crystal Ninja studio down there, and it's always a great time. So if you are in Southern California region, make sure, and you're into blinging out things, make sure to stop by there. Kelly is on a whirlwind tour this summer, the spring through summer, teaching at different places. But look at their website because I believe the dojo is going to have some openings for some classes as well. So started it off down there, and then we came north, and it was myself, Corey, and Pilar. Met up with Kelly. She came up with us. Actually, she came up on her own. She had meetings on Friday, so she came up later on Friday for us. But it was an interesting trip. On our way down there, we found this little Mexican place, and they had the best, and I'm saying the best salsa I'd ever had. I wanted to say, I would say it was worth flying in for. I would fly in to eat there again. Ask me the name. I couldn't tell you. I'd have to go back and look. Salsa was amazing, and I'm not even sure where it was, but it was between Long Beach and what's that place in San Diego. We took the Pacific Coast Highway down, so along the ocean, and it was beautiful. Good to see a sunset from there, but it was a good start to the trip. Now, when we get in we got in Friday morning, went into the show. I only got through 2 aisles on Friday. because we were stopped. We were talking with people, we were seeing people, meeting people, got into a few booths, which meant come Saturday, I really had to truck because there was 5 booths that I wanted to hit. I knew I needed to get there for a specific reason, and wasn't able to do that. So on Friday, so Saturday, hey, that's what it was, because we were headed out on Sunday, which was a whole nother fun fiasco. But new things that I saw there. There was new automated presses. There is a carousel heat press, a four-station carousel heat press. That was pretty cool to see. I don't know if it'd be any more efficient than a shuttle press, because I think in that same footprint, you could do 2 shuttle presses, and you're going to get the faster results. The other thing that I seen was in that shuttle press, they actually had an automatic transfer place putter. They were working on it, but it was basically a vacuum that would pick up the transfer and set it on the shirt, and then it would press right there. So all you had to do was load a shirt and unload a shirt, and it would do the rest from there. There's a lot of kinks that need to be worked out on it. They were trying new things, but I definitely see some places for that. So it was good to see that. As far as some other vendors that we were able to stop and see, of course, our friends over at DTFTU. We got a new finishing sheet from them that we're trying out. That's supposed to give the film a more textured feel. Also, a new film to test out. We're actually testing that out tomorrow, but it is going to be a hot and cold peel. So you can press it low at like 240, 250, and it would peel just fine after that. And supposedly you can press a little higher for a cold peel. So we're going to test that out and see how that works. But our good friends over at DTF2U hooked us up with that. So thanks to the guys over there. If you happen to stop by that booth, you might have seen some stuff that we did in there, because they said, hey, any samples of stuff you want to send? So, of course, we sent that over there. Some of the other things that we checked out were the main thing that we wanted to find out more on was web stores. So the 3 that were there was Chipley, Chaos Industries, and then web stores. Now, Chaos Industries was for the show, and I believe they're still going to do it, is free to sign up, and they only charge you a 3.9% fee for every product sold. So it is still a very, very new company. That was the first show they've been to. I think they got less than a couple dozen clients, so they were really pushing for it. The person who put it on, Brian, is a decorator as well. So he's a screen printer out of the Phoenix area, I believe. I'll have to go back and look at my notes, but they run, $2-3 million shop. He processed all of his stuff through it, showed how it worked. It looked very promising. There's some features that it doesn't have, but I think those things could be addressed, and that's kind of how they said, hey, so we get more people in, we build this together. We put up, here's the next features, what's the most important one to you? Everybody votes on it, most important, that's the one they work on. So I do like that. So we're going to give them a go. Chipley was another one. Chipley, their back end looked amazing. Being able to tie into your vendor's inventory log, so you can tie into Sanmar, SNS, Alpha. You're able to go in there and you can see real time what the product level, stock levels are when you're building out the store. You can also set parameters. So, hey, if my stock level drops, or if their stock level drops below 100, pull it off my site. So that way I don't have to worry about that, or substitute with this one and move on. So it was definitely cool to see that. Now, Chipley's onboarding is $1,000 to onboard with them, and they also take 3.9%. So you have that, $1,000 onboarding, 3.9%. Seems to be about the standard that people were going for. And then we get over to web stores. Their program was going to run all in with everything that you needed. It was going to be about $100 a month. And that was the thing. They didn't charge you anything per piece, but you're paying $100 a month for it. So you really have to look at the volume and seeing what you're doing. If you do something, like $10,000 a month in team stores, that 3.9% is roughly $400. At that point, hey, an Inksoft type program might be better for you, because it's going to be just as robust and do a lot of things for you. So it's tough. I can't tell you what is going to be the best for you. I can only tell you what's going to work for us. So we're going to start with Chaos. I will do, full walkthrough review on that. We'll see if we can get Brian in and tell us a little bit more about his program, what it works, how it works, and then go from there. The other one, Stall Spirit Sale. That one's only $500 a year. And it works well from the people that I've talked to. So There wasn't a whole lot of information on that at Stahl's booth. They were really pushing their DTF transfers because, hey, that's what they're going to, right? That's what they were really pushing hard for. So they were doing that because I wanted to see more of the 3D embellishments, and there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, they were all in on the direct-to-film transfers or direct transfer film, depending who you talk to on that, but they were all in on that. I wanted to see more of the dimensional. I was able to order up a sample pack of it so we could get those in and start doing more with that, seeing, feeling, getting the different textures of it that we like, because I think that's something that can really add on to business, especially when you're doing a small logo, one that can fit on a hat, that can also turn around and be fit as a left chest logo, things like that. It is going to be really exciting to see, the things that you're able to offer with it. So that was a good booth to stop by. We got through our web store booths. We came across this brand in one of the shop talks, which here's the thing. If you go to a trade show, pay attention to what kind of free information is out there for you. A lot of them will have free classes, free seminars, free talks, free roundhouse, free roundtable discussions. Make sure to check all those out that you can, because there's a lot of great knowledge that's out there for it. Now, they also have the paid classes too. And in the paid classes, you find a lot of good knowledge in that. We took one of the DTF classes on it. I know who was presenting it. I wanted to hear more about their story. And I probably could just ask him right out, hey, here's how this, but I wanted to go to it. It was the first time he taught a class. So I said, hey, we're gonna go support our friend there. And with it, I did learn a lot. One of the things that we're working on is our color management. So we are getting in the stuff so we can create our own color profiles. So then what that means is we can take our top 40 colors. And this is where I need your guys' help, because my top 40 colors may not be your top 40 colors, may not be Renee's top 40 colors or Andrea's top 40 colors or Chuck's top 40 colors or anybody else's top 40 colors. But if we can get 40 colors that are there, then we are able to say, hey, you can get this color chart, put it on your wall, and when you put that PMS number in, or that CMYK value, or that RGB value, whenever you put that into yours, regardless of what it looks like on your screen, that's the color you're going to get. So that's something that we're working on. Parts are going to start showing up the later part of this week for it, because there's that spectrometer that's coming. And then where it looks like we're going to switch over to CAD Link for our rich software. We'll then be able to make the profiles and do things like that. One of the things I don't know if we're able to export those profiles. So I don't know if it's something that, hey, once I create that, am I able to export it to Corel and use it to design with from there? Am I able to export it over to Adobe and use it from there? So I've got more stuff to learn on that. Tomorrow, I'm actually being interviewed for the Shirt Lab seminar that is coming up here in just a few months, but we're being interviewed for that tomorrow. So I got to make sure I'm prepping good tonight to make sure I have all my ducks in a row. I got to make sure to clean up this so it looks somewhat presentable here. I should probably go do it in the other office and have that look nice and do that. But you know me, that's not going to happen. I'm gonna be here in the office with the other stuff moving around, and we're gonna do that. I'll just clean up some of this stuff over here. So that's going on tomorrow for us. Then we also have morning mindset in the morning. So we got a live morning over there. One of the companies that we came across was, make sure to write this down. If you are into sustainability and it's something that your clients are really looking for, or you're really looking for, look up the company Fairweather Johnson. That's one word, Fairweather, and then Johnson. Now, what this company does is they recycle products, recycle garments. So they will take, all the red shirts that they get, they will chop them up, and they will turn those into another red shirt. So it was a fascinating process to learn about. We went to their booth, and the material felt amazing. So there was a lot of options that to be had, and it wasn't just standard. Here's a red shirt, here's a black shirt, here's this. They had patterns in there. They had some really nice stuff. So that was Fairweather Johnson. Make sure to go check them out if you're looking for a sustainable product. They have a good story to it. I learned a lot from it, and that was some stuff there. On the DTF side, everybody and their brother has a DTF printer now. Racoma dropped their DTF printer, which surprisingly looks like mine. So even though they said, hey, this is Ricoma's new printer, it's just rebadged. They literally put a Ricoma sticker on it, and that was it. So, you have to look at some of that stuff where, that same printer that they're charging, you can get it about, if I remember correctly, it's about $5,000 less from DTF to you because it's the same printer. The other thing is M&R dropped a DTF printer too. That printer was the price tag of about 40,000, and that was from a Cobra Flex printer. So it was just a rebadged Cobra Flex where it said you could print with adhesive or powder. Here we are a year later, still talking about printing with adhesive. Do not do it. The process is not there. You don't know until you go to press it. All the adhesive was there. It presses at a higher temperature. It can't press to certain materials. So do not use an adhesive one for that. If you go a commercial route, stick with the powder. It's just not there yet. The other thing on the small format side of things, if you're wanting to get into DTF printing, Roland dropped their DTF printer. So Roland dropped their DTF printer, which is a BN20D. So it's a standard BN20 that we all know and love. It's been around forever. Print quality is amazing, but it is a slower than molasses. And by that, what do I mean? It's going to print 5 to 7 prints per hour. 5 to 7 square feet. It is a 2-pass, so it's going to print color and then go back and print white. So you're not hooking that up to a shaker dryer. You're manually powdering and manually curing those things. The great thing about it is 2 things that I feel. One is the price. It's $7,000. I think it was like $69.95. So you can get into it with a commercial grade printer, fairly inexpensive at $7,000. If you're spending, $5,000 on somebody's converted printer setup, because that's what everything else is. If it's a single head, chances are it's just a converted printer. That's just the facts of it. So with this one, it's not. It's a commercial printer. The other thing is that there's a warranty with it. They said that there's a pretty robust warranty that Roland is offering with this. That they're going to take care of you with it. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. I want to see more people that are in it. When I found out about it, I actually went over to the DTF2U booth, and I said something to him. He goes, "Yep, we got the call. We got talking about it, and they asked us if we would be a reseller of it." We said sure, because it is cute. It is not for your production-based businesses. If you need to produce, it is not going to be for you. But if you're not doing a high volume, it is for you, right? If you're not doing a bunch of that, if you're only doing I'm only doing maybe 50 sheets. 50 shirts a week, right? Well, hey, if that thing's printing 5 to 7 hours, that's only 5 hours, or that's 10 hours of printing a week, 2 hours a day. So it prints 2 hours, it could get it there. So it's not going to be for your super commercial settings where you need a high volume, but on that low volume, high quality stuff, that's there. The good thing about that is, Muto had their one that was a 726, which is the same boat where, it's a slower one, but we're seeing more of the name players in it start picking this up, and they're going to bring it. So I say we give it, the other year or two, and you are going to see, a Roland standalone one in a larger capacity, 24-inch, 48. I think you'll also see it from Epson. I think Epson is not going to let this, go away lightly. Everybody uses their heads anyway, so I think they will be producing one of their own. So that was a good thing to see, just to see more industry accepting of it. It was definitely a DTF show. Everybody that had it, that could push it, was definitely pushing for it because, it was still the shiny object. Going into a room, for a training class and seeing, when somebody said, who's interested in DTF, and, just about everybody raises their hands in it. That it's a technology that people want to know more about. I still feel in my gut that if you are not producing 50 to 100 sheets a day, just order your transfers. I mean, when you really think about it, you're going to save $1 to $3, per film, per sheet, per whatever you want to figure it out as, to purchase, printing your own versus buying it, which sounds like a lot, but it really isn't when you factor in the labor amount that goes into making that. When you have all that labor there, yes, you have more control. It can print when you want in that. But really, with people's turnarounds like us, we're sitting even on this. We're going to have everything cleared out of the queue from the weekend. I think tomorrow morning. By tomorrow morning, everything is going to be cleared out. I don't know why we were gone for the last week. So we're really doing well on like a 3-day turnaround on things right now. So, and we'll only get faster because we do have a dryer on order now. I had to find out more information today when it's officially going to land, when we're going to have that. But we do have a dryer on its way for 24 inches. So then we'll be able to offer the 22-inch wide sheets. So a lot of people will ask for those. And I really don't understand, the big hang up on it is, well, we want the 22 by 60s or the 22 by 120s. The price is going to be the same, but they're like, yeah, but we can fit a lot more on those. And granted, sometimes you can, but they're talking about like ganging, here's a big image and I'm going to put a little image here and I'm going to put a little image there and I'm there and there and there. In theory, sounds magnificent, but what's it all come back to? The labor to cut each one of those apart. I'm going to cut real close in here, and I'm going to make this cut here, and I'm going to do it all here. Where in our business, it's $2 a minute for to run it. So that means every minute that they spend cutting transfers apart costs me $2. So how long does it take to really lose money on that? I went from, a gang sheet, yep, I'm making money, to now I'm cutting all of these apart and I'm losing money because what I thought I was saving by ganging stuff, I'm actually losing in the amount of time to labor. So, do some thoughts on that. Even on pressing, they said that the film that we're testing out is going to be a hot peel film. So, is it going to save us time? If you're going back and repressing for a second time, not really, because you're going there. But if it's going to give a softer feel, a lighter hand, some other things that we can do, then it's worth doing. So, it's all about that testing, all about refining the process, all about making everything better. And that's the beauty of our business is we are always here to learn something, right? If you are not learning, you're not earning. If you're not learning, you're not trying hard enough. There is a wealth of knowledge out there. And at the end of the day, it's on you to take advantage of that, right? And I'm not, saying, hey, if you don't do this, you're going to fail. But I am. If you're not out there trying to make your business better, what are you going to do? You're going to just stay stagnant and your competitors are going to pass you by. So you need to, constantly looking at the new ideas, new trends. What else is out there? How can you be better than the guy down the road? And it does not have to be a competition. It can still be co-opetition. And what does that mean? It means working with your competitors because, hey, look at me. I've helped people, even though we print wide format printing, signs, banners, decals, DTF prints, soon to be screen printed transfers, we're offering those. If we're able to do that, if I'm able to help somebody buy a piece of equipment, then I lose them as a customer, but I still do it, right? I still say, yeah, here's who our contacts are. Here's the people that we talk to. Some people, I say you should not be bringing in equipment until you can afford to pay somebody to run it, because the more equipment you bring in, the more focus it takes off of you and what you're able to do, because now you're on that. So if you're able to, hey, go over and do this, are you still able to go over and do that? You're going to hire somebody. So you want to make sure that process can pay for itself before you get into it. If not, you're losing money, or you're then working in your business, not on your business. And that is a big thing. Working in it sucks. Like, if I want to work in my business all the time, then I can go get a job and get paid by somebody else. Working on it allows me to grow it and do the things that we want to do, travel the shows. That's part of it. Fairweather Johnson. That's why it sounded familiar, and I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, why does it sound familiar? Why does it sound familiar? That's why. And hello, Andrea. And we try and, we do this. We got Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning mindset. We try and drop a little knowledge. Like I said, tomorrow, do that 8:30 a.m. Central. I'll be flying in for that one because by the time dropping the kids off for school, coming in for that, it is there. What's up? Right there, right? DTF is big right now. It's huge because it's the new shiny block, the new shiny toy on the block. Rye, hey, what's up? I finally got to meet Rye. He was DJing the yacht party. So Rock throws a party, right? And this year was Rock the Boat. So they had a yacht, and it was going to travel from Long Beach to LA and back. And we were sitting there probably about 4:45, right before the show closed on Saturday. And there was a group of us that was there. The plan was still to go to Rock, and I could say, okay, we got to go get in line for the boat across the street. And you could kind of look on some of their faces. I said, is anybody having second thoughts about going to be stuck on a yacht for the next 4.5 hours as it traverses across the water. And they're like, yeah, I'm like, okay, it's free food, free drinks, but yeah, I totally get that. You can't come and go. You're stuck on the boat. Once you get on, set sail, you're there, right? There's no getting off of it unless you're diving in. So, some of them were kind of like, eh. So we said, okay, well, let's just go to dinner. So we decided not to go. And we went right where saw where the boat was, and there's the boardwalk that's there, and went and had dinner at a place. And while we were at dinner, we got an email that says, "Hey, the boat's not moving; it's staying docked. So if you want to come on down. There is still the capacity limit on the boat itself, but as people came off, more people could get on. So they had the band Everclear playing, which is pretty sweet. I love the music choices that rock has put on. It definitely reminds me of my high school days. But art looks old now. I will tell you that art looks old. Well, we walked on there, and sure enough, as I'm sitting there, come on, I'm like, man, that almost sounds like Rye. I'm like, that sounds like Rye. And then I came around the corner, and sure enough, Rye was up there DJing. So finally got to meet him face to face. He sees me at mine, and I see him on his when he does his show. So it was nice to finally get to see him and chit chat about the things that are out there for it. But that show was a good show. And then from there, we got off the boat early, went back to the house, and Sunday was a travel day, so I didn't need to stay up too late. But we had a good time with everybody. It was a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to doing it next year. And that is absolutely right. The more you know, go Joe. Absolutely, G.I. Joe, the real American hero. The more you know. There is so much with that where, like me, I'm not a screen printer. I don't ever plan on getting into screen printing because here's my big thing: space, mess, education. I'm not educated enough to know what the hell I'm doing. And there's a shit ton of bad screen printing out there. And I don't want to be that. So I want to take every class I can before I even think about that. I want to learn as much as I can. And that's why I follow a lot of screen printers. And why do it? Two reasons. One, I want to know the process, to see how different people are doing different things. But two, a lot of them are, big name screen printers, where you're talking, 6, 7, 10 million in sales. What are they doing to get there? That's the thing. How are they doing that? For us, transfers are where it's at. We'll do up to 500 shirts in-house transfers. After that, we'll go to a contract screen printer. So I never have to touch a squeegee. Would I love to? Yes. Would I love to do it? Absolutely. I haven't pulled a squeegee since 93, 92, 91, maybe, probably 91, in the screen print shop. So it's been a long time since I did that. So it would be fun to do it again. But as far as making it my business, I am not there. I love the process. I love watching it. I'm just even going to a show like Impressions Expo, when you go into the rock room and to see everything just move and to see it all, I'm like, oh, I totally do this. I sat at that DTG machine that I know damn well I will never, ever get, and it prints, throw a shirt on, pre-treats, goes all the way around, comes back to you, pull it off, throw the dryer, 2 minutes from beginning to end. And then once you have them all loaded, it's every 17 seconds, a shirt is done printed and coming off, and you can load up the queue with like 100, I think it was like 150 different designs, but it was the DTG. It was amazing to sit and watch. The show special was only 750,000, so I mean it was great. But they said it's going to go up to $1 million after the show special. It was great that they took the time to talk to us about it, knowing full well we weren't going to purchase it. But I just said, hey, what's something like this? What is the use for it? And they said, high demand, on-demand printers. It's 200 shirts an hour that it can print. So what do you got to print? 1,000 shirts a day. So 1,000 shirts a day, that I think that's what you got to be able to print with it to make it feasible for it. Footprint was 15 by 30, requires 3-phase. It's like a 3-week process of onboarding and setting up. But, it was great to learn, to learn so much about that machine. Is it on a bucket list of machines to have? Sure. Will I ever get it? No. Because I won't ever have a need for that. I guess I can't ever say no, but it is just not it won't be our cup of tea for that. So it was great to see that, to see the autos, to see, the hybrids, to see everything just run. That's the best thing about going to a show is you get to see everything. It's one of those things where if a trade show is within driving distance of you, My cutoff is 6 hours. Brian's cutoff is like 72 hours. If it's within 72 hours driving distance, he'll drive. If it's within 6 hours, I'll drive. But get to those trade shows. For us, in 2 Mondays, so this time in 2 weeks there won't be a show because we are headed. We're headed to the APA show out in Vegas. So if you are going to be out in Vegas for the APA show, let us know. We can meet up from there. Maybe I can get through more than 2 booths this time, or two aisles before somebody says something. Which Saturday when we came out, it was, I was kind of taken back because somebody said they came to the show to see, they only came to the show to see 2 people, myself and Alan from AW Productions. So I was kind of taken back by that. I'm like, hey, cool. Cool. You came here just to see me. I mean, I was little there. And then, as he walks away, I looked at Corey and she goes, yeah, you're kind of a big thing, right? No, I wasn't going to say that. I said, those things kind of, weird, because there's somebody else that said that they didn't want to come up and bother me because I was in a conversation with, they said, important people. And I was like, oh yeah, where's that? And they said, you were talking to Jay and Terry, and you guys were having a conversation. I was like, that's what we all do, right? We all learn and talk about things, and and that's what we do. Don't be afraid to come up and talk to people. That's where you're going to learn the most. If anybody, especially if anybody is doing like I do, we're here. This is a very one-sided conversation. It's just me talking to myself. I get to read your comments. I love reading those, and a lot of you see who I am, so you recognize me. Now, I don't recognize a lot of you. Why? Because I recognize your cat because it's your profile. And so I know, oh, yeah, show me your cat. Now I know who you are, but some of them I just don't know. So try not to feel offended if I don't know who you are by looking at you. I have to look at a name tag. Then I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? Or sometimes it's people that don't join in the conversation. They just watch or listen or read, and then they say it. So I didn't even know. So never be afraid of that. I'm here to help as many people as I can. I want to see everybody succeed. And the only way that really happens is if you get out of there and just, ask those questions, come up, talk to us. We can have a great time with it. Yeah, Ryan, it was finally the time to meet. And we'll do that again, when we're out there next year. Because I don't know what other shows that we might attend together at the same time. APA in 2 weeks in Vegas. But I don't know what other shows there might be. Jose, hello to you as well. Stubber Bull Customs. Hey, Todd, so would you recommend attending these shows? Absolutely. Like I said, if there's a show within your area, go to it. Take the classes, talk to the people, feel, touch, smell. Some of those things, especially on the screen printing side of things, might have a weird smell that you're like, oh, I don't know if I get to smell that every day. Ask those questions. Like for us DTF, when people were talking to me about it, I said, here, do you have the power requirements? Do you have the ventilation or a way to vent it through a charcoal system? Do you have the support knowledge there? Can you build a machine from the ground up? Are these things that you can do to be successful at it? But it allows you that chance to talk to the other people that are doing it, because every vendor will tell you it's only 20 shirts and it pays for itself. How about you talk to those people that are actually running that machine and see how many shirts it really is? Because at the end of the day, those booths, they're there to sell you something, whether it's information for a purchase later down the road or to purchase something there at the show. That is their job, is to form you with reasons to buy their stuff. Talk to the other people that have already bought their stuff, so that way you can get the information on it. And that's what we try and do here. It's when White Toner Wednesday starts up next month, we're going to go through the trials of what works on what works on White Toner and what doesn't. You saw in the beginning of our DTF journey when we were using the converted printers, how much of a pain in the ass it was, and how much simpler it was when we went to a commercial machine. You've seen our growth through it. You've seen everything that we've done through it. You've seen our good and our bad. So when we have those goods and bads, it definitely shows the real world side of it. Yeah, kind of a big deal, right? Is that how that goes? Impressions coming to Atlantic City. I've been wanting to go for a few years. If you're able to make it, go to it. Now it is the redheaded stepchild of the Long Beach show. Like the Long Beach show is the big bad show. That's when things get released and then Impressions is like, okay, we'll get over there to it, the Atlantic City one. But 100% go to it. Go to any of them that are in your area. You're going to learn so much. And that's the thing. Plan out what you want to do. if there's a booth you want to see, if there's places you want to go, plan that out. Like, I knew the booths that I needed to get to, the people I needed to see, the ones that I needed to talk to. There's still one that I didn't, two that I weren't able to, because when I was able to hit their booth, they weren't in the booth. And I didn't have the time to, let's go back to it and see. So it was one of the things. The other thing is allows you a good opportunity to talk to your reps. We actually talked to Frank Good from over at SNS, and they've got some exciting things coming. I cannot let that cat out of the bag just yet, but I will tell you that there is on the e-commerce solution side of things, SNS might be trying to put something together for you. Just saying. So look for that. The other thing is that knowledge base. It is a wealth of it out there from other people, right? They've been there, they've done that. They'll tell you, is this good or bad? The one thing that I suggest not doing is not bringing stuff to take notes with, not to bring stuff to drink, not to say you need to get hammered all day, but stay hydrated, because it is there. Comfy shoes, some may say it's a must, but hey, I'm a flip-flop type of guy, so it worked just fine for me for that. But you make your list of your people you want to go see, so you definitely get those things. Like I said, on Friday, we only got through part of the show, and that was just the way it was. It was like, before you knew it, the show was over. Saturday, it was like, okay, I'm going to go hit this booth, and this booth. So I was able to hit a booth first, talk to him over there. Then I had class. That was an hour and a half. And then I was able to come back. And by that time, you figure, class was 11. It was 12:30. I talked to somebody for like 45 minutes, an hour after class. And it was already 2:00. And the show closes at 5. So there's 3 hours. And I need to get trucking to sit the other booths in that. So I didn't even get to it. And then finally, right there at the end of it, I said, I'm going to do a quick run through just to see if there's anything that I'm missing in that. And I know I missed a lot, but there's a lot of booths that I didn't make it to because we couldn't. We were leaving on Sunday. So I think for next year, 100%, I need to stay for all 3 days. We need to not leave until Monday. But we couldn't do that because, Corey was flying out to Punta Cana. So, that's why we had to get back, which when we got up Sunday morning, we were hit with your flight has been delayed 30 minutes. Awesome, because we had a tight connecting flight as it is. In fact, through the American Airlines app, when we were preparing for landing, we got the notification that our next flight was boarding. So we were really stressed. Were we going to make it or not? Were we going to make it or not? Were we going to make it or not? So we get off there, and we truck as fast as my fat little legs would take me over there, only to be met with a closed door and a plane that sat there for another 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It might have even been a half hour that plane, it was probably 20 minutes that plane sat there while we were there, because we actually had other people that showed up from the flight we were on that were in the same boat. So we knew that there was room on that plane. They could have taken our stuff, but they chose not to do it. And our final stop of that plane was where our stop was. So it doesn't like they couldn't open the door for us. So while they were doing that, they said, hey, we can get you over on a United flight. That flight is 10 minutes away, or that flight leaves in 10 minutes. There was no way we were going to make that one. So the next one was going to be the next day. Luckily, in that time, the other flight had been delayed an hour, they said. So we were able to make that one and get home. But our baggage did not make it. When we were at the American, they said, yeah, your baggage is on that plane. It will be there waiting for you. So we were like, awesome. Okay, let's do that. We get to our home airport, and we come off, and there's no luggage anywhere to be found. United gal cannot help us because she says it's an American Airlines problem. So we talked to some security there, and they said, hey, there's actually another American Airlines plane that just landed, a ghost plane. They're cleaning that. So when they're done cleaning that, you'll be able to talk with them, and they should have everything for you. So this is now 11, a little before 11, and they said it'd be about a half hour. We didn't leave the airport until 12:15 because I told Corey, I'm done waiting. I'm like, I need to go home and get to bed because I knew I had a lot of work to do. And I didn't eat anything, so I was hangry, I was cranky, and so we'll stop. She said, we can stop somewhere on the way home. It's Sunday night after midnight. No place was open. So yeah, that made for a fun day, which that's what we talked about, yesterday morning, trying to get through there. Look, I said, if you'd stayed, you wouldn't have ever made it home. Right. But maybe it would have been great. There is There is a ton of stuff. I mean, if it's local to you and you're driving, you can take a rolly cart and you can fill it up on day one. Samples, samples, samples. I've learned over the years that the first couple shows we went to, yep, here, only take this. Everything that was there, we're gonna take and we're gonna fill up. Pens galore because I'd never had to buy a pen, but as it's went, I'm like, I don't need to carry that. It's not going on the flight. I don't need to carry that. It's not going on the flight. So it was only taking the things that we really wanted to see, feel, touch, samples like that, because, then it was there. But if it's your first time going, yeah, go to town on the stuff. Ask as many questions, get as many things as you want. So APA, not going to take much. Why? I'm flying. It's going in my bag. That's it. Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. So the bag wasn't there. We said, okay, Corey called yesterday morning. Talked to them. They said, yeah, the bag's not here. It's still in Chicago. But we're going to put it on a flight this afternoon, and you'll have it. So they said it was going to be on the 2 o'clock flight. Corey gets there at like 2:04, goes in the airport. Just as she's going in, baggage claim starts up, and she's sitting there, and about 4 bags down, here comes her bag down the thing, and she screams, holy shit! And it freaked out the people next to her. Then she told them the story about what it was, and they're like, okay, your bag showed up. So it was a good thing, because any other time it wouldn't have been mattered that big of a deal, but she was turning around and flying out. So we needed stuff out of that suitcase. That was where the ditty bag was in. That's where all the other fun stuff was that she needs to travel on to the next journey. Could have used a different suitcase, but we would have had to go buy all the other stuff. So it definitely made for a little stressful time. But yes, that was that. Ryan wasn't able to to get through the whole show, classes, meetings, etc. Yeah, that was the same with us. I had between classes, there was we didn't even get to talk about your past, how that worked, because I tried and they're like, no, sir, here, that's not how this works. So I'm gonna have to revisit that with you next year for it. What classes did you get? Right, we didn't even you got to talk about that on your show. Tell me about the classes that you went. What'd you learn? What meetings you had? Was anything there? From the ones that I talked to, ones that previously were like really good about saying, hey, we can work with you on on different materials, different products. We can get some stuff in your hand that we'd worked with before. It seems that they've tightened up the belts, that they're not as quick to give stuff off as they used to be. It was like, here, yep, this is what we do. If you want to send something great, we purchase it anyway. But if you wanted to work with us, we'd be happy with that. And some of them were like, well, we're reevaluating that this year, and we're going to see how that plays out. So we'll let you know. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. We've got our handful of stuff that we work with. We're still working with stalls this year. We're still working with DTF2U. Of course, we're still working with Magic Touch. We're working, and then our other ones, our Creative Fabrica, our design bundles, our Equids, our things like that for those affiliate links. But that's the thing. We're gonna continue to push what we have and keep growing, because that's what we need to do on it. Think of how cool the conversation would be driving home from Long Beach to home. Dude, do you know how long of a trip that is? It's like days. I'm not having that, man. I am not having that. Like, what the hell do you do on that? I understand road trip, but until I get a Tesla, I am not driving across the country, because I need somebody to drive for me that has autopilot, sort of, which was a great one this time. I did have an autopilot. I had Corey. Typically, I drive everywhere, but she drove everywhere this time, and it was kind of nice. I was able to get work done in the back seat because it was her and Pilar up front. So I was able to get stuff done, and I was totally down with that. I didn't have a problem with that at all. So kudos to Corey for driving on that. It was a lot of fun for me to just be able to party it up and have a good time and not have to worry about driving. So yeah, the conversation from what I don't even know. Look up that drive for me and tell me how long it is. That's 2 trips, right? Yeah, because Renee drove last time. I'm done driving. I'm done. I can just sit and enjoy and just kick back and work and be a good navigator and support staff and do that. I can say, yep, 2 stoplights ahead. We're turning this way. Yep, we're going here. Ooh, look, there's another homeless person. I can point out all that stuff and have fun. But overall, the experience was really well. Attendance-wise, I would say that the show was about 85% than what it was pre-COVID. It's getting back there, but right now it is still it's not 100% there. but the people, everybody was happy to be there. Every booth, last year there was a lot of empty booths, a lot of empty space. This year there was not any empty space. In the room where they had on the back room where they had shop talks and that, they could have filled it a little more, but the main hall was packed. The rock booth packed all day long. So there was a lot of people there, a lot of vendors there, a lot of cool things to see. Some of them may have downsized on it, but you wouldn't have known because other ones stepped up. So if somebody previously had maybe a 20 by 40, and now they had, or let's say a 10 by 20, and now they have a 10 by 10. Well, somebody else took that other 10 by 10 spot, so you didn't even notice it. So there was a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of stuff that I missed, and I'll go through it and get as much information as I can from online of that stuff. But the attendance was good. The turnout of the vendors were good. The buzz was just amazing. Everybody's happy to see everything grow and be big. From everybody that I talked to that went to classes, I'd say about 80% of the people said that they really took a lot out of their classes. Some of them said, yeah, I knew a lot of it. I was just hoping to get, maybe another nugget in that. But, and sometimes you'll have that. But overall, the classes were great. The weather was good. The entertainment was fun. The networking was amazing. Getting to see new people, talk with people. Joseph Farr, we've been going back and forth for 6-7 years now. He knows what I look like. I know what he looks like. We talk a lot, and we had never had the chance to meet. We'd always just missed each other here and there. So finally, we were able to make that happen this year. So that was a plus. There's going to be people like, that we see that we're like, hey, all right, we've talked on this for years, and now we get to see it. So that's, I think, one of the other reasons to go, without a doubt. Let's see. 4-day drive. Yeah. So I'm not doing that. It's much easier to sightsee when you're driving. It's a lot easier to enjoy a beverage and kick back and relax too when you're not driving either. 28 hours, that's 24 hours too long for me. 24 hours, way too long. Way too long. 2,000 miles. That's way too long too. 500 is about it. 500. If it's longer than what it says in the stuff for like Auto Tempest to be able to buy a car within 500 miles or across the world, 500, that's it. 500 miles. If they don't want to travel more than that, neither do I. So what do we have coming up? Shows. APA in Vegas is 2 weeks. We'll be attending that show. The DAX shows, I don't believe we're going to do KC or Minnesota myself, but we know 100% that we're going to do DAX Chicago. We've already got room booked for that one. We'll be going up Friday morning, staying Friday, coming back on Saturday. So if you are in the region, make sure to hit that show because it's going to be a ball of a time. It always is. And then it looks like we don't think we have a firm date on Shirt Labs yet for July, but that sounds like it is going to be in New Orleans. So I think we're really going to try and hit that one. That might be a family vacay. Take the kids down and have some fun down in New Orleans. I can do some class. I can have some fun. Corey goes to do that. Then what show was that? What show was what? The DAX show? That's the Tinley Park one. Decorated Apparel Expo. That's in Tinley Park. That one's in April. In July as well, June or July, somewhere around there. I got to get the dates and stuff figured out. But also is the Skills USA competition. So I think we're going to be a judge again there. So if that's the case, then we will head down. I think we're going to try everything we can to get down there. And then Printing United is in Atlanta this year. So maybe get back to Atlanta for Printing United. And if I can convince TRW to host an open house or an in-house, I'm going to work on that as well. And then probably one show in the fall. But that would be our show schedule for the year. Now, I am going to go through and find as many shows as I can, put links to them in the group, and I'll pin those. So that way people can look and see what shows are in their area, where they can go to. I think NBM does a show in Atlantic City, if I'm not mistaken. NBM does a show out that way. Like I said, so I'll go through and I'll find all the classes that I can find. All the shows, all the shows that I can find info on, and I'll post those in there. Yeah, Chicago, Tinley Park, just outside of Chicago. They think They're still Cook County, so they're still Chicago. Until you go across the street, then it's not Cook County, but that's how it is. But yeah, I'll look and I'll get all that information over there for it. But yeah, that's what we got. Like I said, I wanted to get out of here so I could get home to the kiddos, get some dinner done. I need to get them bathed, and I'm sure that I'm going to do it wrong. Something's going to be wrong there. I do everything wrong when it comes to Mr. Mom time. Only a minor meltdown this morning. Only about like 5 more. I don't know. Corey gets home next week, so good times are ahead from us. Remember, like, subscribe, share. We love seeing this because, from Iowa. So depending where you're at in Iowa, you're going to have the DAX shows. You're either going to go to Tinley Park, but by Chicago, you're going to go to Minnesota at Treasure Island. It's up by Red Wing is where that one is. And then you have Kansas City. So those would be your 3 shows that are going to be closest to you there. So those are the ones to check out for, and that's DAX, the DAX, the Decorated Apparel Expo. But if you go to DAX Show or DAX Shows, not 100% sure, but go there, you can get the information on that. All right, we'll be back tomorrow morning with another fun episode of Morning Mindset. That is 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, midweek check-in. I want to see how everybody's doing. We'll try to see what we're doing. We'll let you know how that morning went. Until then, you guys have a magnificent day. Thank you so much for stopping to see us. Peace, love, press on. We'll see you tomorrow morning.